And we're live. Welcome to the Star Wars Reporter podcast number 84, I think.
Wow.
And 84. 84 times that people didn't listen to us. It's been awesome. But welcome. We have a lot to talk about. The Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 7, the finale by Todd's favorite director. So we'll be getting into that. So before we do, let's introduce you to the gang. We have returning.
Oh,
Hello,
big
Jen.
show.
I know. I've been absent for a while. Hello.
She lost a bet, so she's here.
No.
We also have Trooper Todd again.
I just want to say, when Adams joins the show, the IQ goes up lots. Now it goes up twice as much with Jen joining us, I think.
Ah.
I know, but if you notice, there's a lot less facial hair now on the show.
That's true.
That's true. I do bring the facial hair average down.
But she does have longer hair, so maybe there's more hair on set today than usual because the longer hair is more than the beard. Even though Adam's beard's quite spectacular, not Wookiee Steve's beard, but Jen's hair, the big flowy locks there, makes up for it, I think.
I will have to disagree with you because no one has seen my back hair. But on that note,
we must prepare for war. What I'm short on is muscle.
We can buy muscle if you know where to look.
Tell him it's on the house. We will be ready.
The Book of Boba Fett. All episodes now streaming only on Disney+.
that's not our sponsor. They wouldn't give us a dime if we paid them. So, so exciting. I'm looking forward to talking about In the Name of Honor. So, guys.
Big episode. Big episode.
It's the big finale. And I'm a little confused because it's like one ad says the finale, right? The series finale. And then another ad says the season finale. So maybe they're still filling that out. We might get a season 2 out of this, or who knows? I'm not sure if that's a good idea.
Yeah, it kind of sounded like maybe this series was just going to be a launch point for other things, like maybe it was going to be its own little standalone thing and just launch some other stuff, but maybe they're leaving it open.
Again, Jen has been around much, but I've been talking for the last few weeks about, I really believe that they're setting up a cinematic universe where they're going to have a lot of crossover. And if anything, this whole series plants a seed for future cinematic crossovers, right? So just like Marvel's done the right way, I think they're doing the right way too. Whether they have another Book of Fett season 2, doesn't matter or not. They still established the characters. They still established this scenario that you can easily call upon anytime you want to bring them into another movie or franchise.
For sure.
That's very true. Very true. Well, the good news is that Boba Fett was in this episode.
Yes.
And spoke words. And
I missed him. As good as Mandalorian is, I missed Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So it was good that he showed up in his own series today. So, or Wednesday night. But let's get into it. We'll go through the scenes and we'll tell you our likes, dislikes, and
big breakdown.
We'll also be talking about the new announcement that was weird. Disney on the finale, so Wednesday of the finale of the Book of Boba Fett, hours later, then gave the details of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, the release date, and a poster, which I thought was weird, all in one day. So, yeah, very strange.
I've said it before. I don't know how excited I can be about it until it's actually out and I'm physically watching it.
Because May's still a long time away, right?
A lot can happen.
A lot can happen. But things you want to strike it hot. You coming off of Boba Fett. People who've been watching it are really interested and they're waiting for the next thing. Okay, they're just dangling a little fish. Don't go anywhere. Disney Plus has something else coming up in May. So,
which I wonder, are they using some of the same set pieces and stuff like that? Because obviously it's set on the same planet. I mean, I'm wondering, production-wise, would it be easy to?
Well, I don't think they were shot anywhere near each other.
Well, he's on Tatooine, isn't he?
Well, I know, but I thought that a lot of the was shot in Boston for some reason.
Oh, you mean like physical filming
Yeah,
locations?
I think they
well, because I know aren't they doing that like round sound stage thing? Like
they do that
Yes.
lots. Yes, they do that lots. But again,
Yeah.
I heard that I thought I heard, maybe I'm totally wrong, maybe I'm confused with something else,
yeah,
that Obi-Wan was shot in Boston, or
interesting.
a chunk of it. But again, I could be totally wrong too, but I thought that's what I read somewhere.
No, I don't know. I'm sidetracking us here. Sorry. Continue, Steve.
So continue. We're still talking.
Continue.
We can all agree that we're excited about the Obi-Wan series coming out on May 25th.
And
Yeah.
we will get to that. Let's get through this review of the episode. Now, if you remember at chapter 6, at the very end of the episode, Garza's bar gets kablooied, and
Yes.
we pick up at the bar. Fennec and Boba Fett are taking a look, and you know what? For it being blown up, it doesn't look that bad inside.
No, doesn't look
You know,
good, but doesn't look that bad. It could be worse.
Has anyone confirmed like whether or not Max Rebo was inside? Do we know?
Max Rebo, we actually discussed this last episode. They did a little pan of the music people. Max Rebo was not there.
He was not there.
He was not there. If you look at the episode, he's not. It pans through. It has the guy playing the little flute thing, and it has another guy. But Max Rebo was not there.
All right.
So our keen eyes broke that down last week that we don't think he was there.
Okay.
I'm thinking that Max might be a terrorist or something. He's like the inside guy, right?
He's the inside guy. He's a snitch, right?
He's like the spy. Oh, I'm a musician. You know, we've only seen him at 2. I'm sure that any of the explosions across the galaxy, he happens to be doing a gig there. So
what we didn't see when the second Death Star blew up was Max Rebo flying away in a little escape pod, right?
I thought I saw that. It's funny. My wife is grudgingly. It is. My wife is watching all the episode. We got to about episode 5 so far with her, but when Max Rebo was coming on the screen, like, she's not a nerd in any way, and I'm sure she's like going watching it. But as soon as she saw Max Rebo, she goes, "Oh, those are the guys from Return of the Jedi." She was so happy.
Oh,
I'm like, wow, I should have took you to a better movie, our first date. But anyways, so Max Rebo lives, but I don't think, looking at this, that Garza is going to be coming to any season 2, if
probably
at all.
not.
So probably not. So
it looks like everybody was vaporized that was inside there, possibly.
Yeah. Do you think so?
It did not look survivable.
You think those little ice cream makers were happy things, but I guess not. So then, of course, right away, Mando shows up, and the team they start discussing plans. So
strategy.
According to Fennec, they're at war now. So, I was watching one person do a review on this, and he said he was disappointed that they didn't talk about Garza at all. That it was just like, oh, like they knew her, but they didn't say, man, you know, terrible, and what happened here, and that poor Garza. And I thought, well, he was just getting money off her. I don't think they had any kind of a relationship, and she didn't with them.
No, exactly right. And the thing is, there is the solemn kind of, you know, unspoken word. You get the sense that this is a tragedy, and then he's not happy about this sort of situation. You don't have to say, "Oh, it's too bad we're not going to see her again." You know, it's not necessary to tell the story.
Yeah,
because there's a moment later on where that kind of comes out too, right? As I'm sure we'll get there.
Right. Yeah, I don't think they cared much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think they were acquaintances. Like, he was taking money off her, and she was, you know. But I just thought that was really funny, where, you know, there was concern that they didn't show more empathy of the fact that these people that they had interacted with were blown to pieces. But
again, they were there. If they didn't care, they wouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
There's no point going there. He'd stay in his palace if he didn't care, right? He just send a little. He wouldn't go there himself and visit the location if it wasn't important to him.
Right.
I would think, anyway. You saying your Gamorrean guard or your biker gang?
Right. So then the scene goes to Cad Bane meeting with the Pikes, and the mayor's in the room, and all the people that are involved, and all of
So you mean the mayor's a bad guy? No way.
I never trust an Ithorian.
No, I know, right?
So I really love every scene that Cad Bane is in. Like
Me
he's
too.
just so tense, right? He's such a
I love that they use the same voice actor. That's
Yes.
the coolest thing. Like he's got that like instantly recognizable voice, and the I was messaging Steve last week before your podcast last week. Like I was screaming, like standing up and screaming when the like silhouette, like
Yes.
the hat and the duster when he's in the distance. I was losing it. Like nobody had spoiled that for me. Like I lost my mind.
We all felt the exact same way last week.
Yeah.
You weren't here, but we were all like,
Yeah.
"Whoa!" I
Yeah.
remember going like, "It's happening! It's happening!" I was just so excited, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
basically what I was doing too. But anyway, so like I'd like now like that I knew he was going to be appearing, and then like kind of calmed down a little bit. So actually watching him in this episode, he was just like the voice, that just general oozing of cool death. You know, like,
cold, just
he's
cold, right? Very, very
cold,
cold.
cold and deadly.
And-
You know, kind
And
of.
the way his mouth looks with the teeth and his jaw moves, it's just everything about him is very like sinister, right? There's nothing
Mhm.
about him that says, you know, it's just a bad vibes from this guy all the time, right? Like, and
Yeah.
quite frankly, when he's talking to, even when he's interacting with the Pikes, he's not really like, doesn't sound like he's like totally buying into on their side. You know what I'm saying?
He's working for them.
Yeah.
But
Working
he's
for
still
them.
in charge of himself. Like he's
Yeah.
not a like that's his vibe, and I love it.
Like, the whole thing, like, and you kind of took out his sand people, right? Like, like, what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
the whole thing, like, is this very interesting how that played, and so that little bit of information, he kind of had a smile sort of thing, like
Yeah.
it was quite cool.
Yeah, I don't think he's nice to anyone. I
No.
think
he's not.
that
Yeah.
attitude all the time, which is, yeah, he's a very, very cool character. And I never really knew much about him until, say, I think.
Well, you
what
need
was
to
the
go
end?
watch the Clone Wars episodes with Obi-Wan and Cad Bane, where
So
Obi-Wan
good.
goes undercover.
Yes.
Because there's some good Anakin stuff in those episodes too, because that's like Anakin thinks that Obi-Wan's dead, and so he kind of goes dark because like nobody's there to stop him, sort of.
Wow.
But besides that, like there's some little good stuff in there. But besides that, the Obi-Wan undercover working with Cad Bane, like those are some good episodes. I think it's like a 2-parter, maybe a 3-parter.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like, that's what really,
They're
like,
good.
I was really thought Clone Wars was slogging through. Then when that second season, when they introduced Cad Bane, it's like, whoa, everything really picks up.
When he
Like,
has
really-
the little robot that he sends in with the bomb
Yeah,
and stuff like that,
yeah,
the first introduction with him, there's a great dynamic between them, like the super serious Cad Bane and like the really like sarcastic robot. And,
Yeah.
no, very, very fun.
And so that's what's it. You make a character in the Clone Wars. He was very well beloved, and just everybody really likes him. It's just a cool look. And now they bring him to the real world, interacting with real people in live action. It was just like,
I mean, I got Ahsoka. Like I was jazzed about Ahsoka. That made my whole life. That's everything I could have asked for. I didn't even know I could ask for a Cad Bane like that. Like Filoni looked into my soul and.
well,
It's so funny.
for me, it's always about the villains. Always. So, seeing Ahsoka is great. I don't know how they attach into Ahsoka, but I do like my villains. So, seeing Cad Bane was what really put me over the top for sure.
Very cool. Yeah, no, super awesome.
Yeah, and with Ahsoka being brought to a live action, you can see that it would be easy, right? You get the right actor, costume, and stuff like that. But we had talked at times. It's like, who would they bring to this series, right? We were thinking Bosk, and Cad Bane was mentioned, but we thought, nah, it's they'll if anything, they'll save Cad Bane for Kenobi or something else. But Cad Bane would be so hard to bring to live screen, like alien specific look, and you just thought it would work out bad. But man, did they ever do a good job? With him? He looks like almost identical. Well, in animation, but he looks so good. And just
his hat could have been a little wider, like that. Like it could have gone a little bit. I mean, I was happy with it, but
right. My guess, it doesn't convey well on camera. Probably
I think probably not.
It became too comical, so they had to like make it smaller.
Probably exactly what it was.
Yeah,
like
they'll
live
have.
action, it would have looked silly. It would have looked sombrero-y.
I can almost guarantee they probably made it look exactly like the comic book. Sorry, the cartoon animated series. Then have to like, okay, it's too big. It just looks too comical. Let's dumb it down a bit. Size it down. I'm sure they did that. But
Right. So speaking of Cad Bane, the next scene, Cad Bane goes to the I'm going to say Boba Fett's headquarters right now, which is at the burned out Garza place, and Boba Fett goes out to meet him, and I got a picture again. It's this wide angle that I've talked about through all these different podcasts that I love. Right, you get this whole and again the whole cowboy theme movie, right? The two gunslingers facing each other, and so they have their tense conversation, and they have history there with each other. And I think Cad Bane was kind of calling them out, like kind of saying,
well, he knew him as a boy. Like there was a
Yes.
time that Boba,
Yes.
as a child, was with Cad Bane's group.
yes,
What was her name with the
Tana.
wife? Ara.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I can't remember her name, but yes.
She had the long fingers, the assassin with
and she had the antenna over her head, yeah.
ponytail thing, and
Yeah.
she's her, what was her name? Ara something.
Yeah, it's something like that. I saw her action figure in the store the other day. Yes.
She was cool. But her and Cad Bane teamed up for a while, and then they took in Kid Boba for a
Right.
bit. He traveled with them, and like pulled off a couple heists and things like that. Like, and then they ended up betraying him at one point because like they were ruthless. Like they just didn't care, but he was nothing to them, and he was kind of looking for a family, I think. And there was some, things like that. So I remember they kind of separated on bad terms, but Boba did know Cad Bane as a child. So,
yeah.
What I like about the interaction too, like they never really tell you the whole story. They just kind of hint that there's some tension there between the two, but we don't.
He says something about like you've grown up or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
Yeah. And again, we don't have to burden us down with going all this justification from the past, right? They just hinted at the fact that there's a problem. But again, how intense is that conversation, right? Especially Boba reaches for a gun. He's got his hand right at the side, like, oh, here we go, right? It was a nice little teaser, and setting the tone again. Steve, you're talking about those wide shots. It was setting that tension, right? Just very, very effective.
Even the back and forth, where they always have the close up or kind of. I've noticed the camera angles on Cad Bane, right? I always love that the cowboy scenarios where they're showing like behind where the gun is, but not up high, or where his hands are by the gun. And I think he's trying to draw Boba Fett for some reason. He's trying to draw him in instead of just shooting him.
Yes.
And then Fennec talks him down and stuff like that. And I remember someone saying Boba Fett would be more reserved, or he would be in more control. But of course there must be that history, right? Like that, that mentor that wasn't too nice to you, and you meet up again and he's calling you, soft and stuff like that, like what Cad Bane was doing. So
I think there might be something at some point where, I don't know, it's been a long time since I've seen those episodes, but I think that is kind of a theme back then. Like he wasn't tough enough to like hang with the assassins or with the, as a child back then. And that's one of the reasons they dump him or something.
Yeah.
But this is also, I believe in this conversation, this is where Cad Bane divulged some information to Boba that Boba didn't know, right?
Yes.
Regarding, which was kind of a trigger for him too, right?
That's what he was trying to do. Yeah.
Exactly. He's trying to motivate him to attack, to make the first move, and let's get going, sort of thing, right? Like Cad Bane's is very much the instigator in this scenario.
Yeah, it just seemed like the typical cowboy villain where he wanted him to make the move so we could shoot him down or whatever. I thought it was very, very cool. Yeah, so he did let them know that it was the Pikes that killed his friends, the Tuscans, and
family. Yeah,
family kind of smirking about it. And you could see Boba Fett getting visibly upset. And so Fennec talks him down. He goes his way, and Yeah, so we
It
didn't
doesn't
get
go his way. It's that saunter off, right? He
know.
Yeah.
covers up his gun and he starts walking away, but never loses eye contact, right? To the
It's
little
always slow. I know.
so good. Like the exit was like, oh, just what an exit, right? Like, just again, tension. Just, I'm not looking away from you, not gonna look away from you, not gonna look but again, look how serious I am.
But he does turn his back. Like, you know what? It takes a lot of balls for him to just do that. But then he just walks away, knowing that nothing's going to happen. He's just that good. He's such a great villain, and I wish. Well, we'll get to that later. What happened didn't happen, but Jen's
We'll
going to talk
get
about
there.
theories
We'll
on
get
that.
there,
Yeah.
Steve.
So okay, so the next scene comes up, and I'm glad you can't see my notes because it looks like a teenage girl seeing their favorite pop artist or something. That's what my handwriting looks like in these notes that I have for the next scene. So the next scene, where is it? The ship comes flying into, I forget her name, the mechanic's place.
Just call it the
Mos
mechanic.
Eisley. Mechanic. This X-wing comes in, so I'm flipping out, going, "Oh my God, Luke shows up! X-wing, WTF?" and some other scribbles I can't understand what that is.
So I just want to point out that's not the Millennium Falcon, Steve. That's maybe somebody predicted last week. Remember? Just as
Yeah,
I say,
we were
not
thinking
the
it was
Millennium
like,
Falcon with Han Solo and Chewie hanging out the side.
yeah, that they'll have.
As soon as I saw the X-wing, I was like, "Oh, Steve's gonna think it's Luke." Like,
Yeah,
I literally, I thought that.
I did the same thing. I went, "Oh, what? Luke's showing up? Like really he's showing up? Like that's gonna degrade the tension right away." But so that's why I knew it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say if Luke's here, then like this fight's already over.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's why I was thinking too. Right. At the same time going
from my like Mandalorian finale like fangirl freak out that I had,
Oh yeah, I was flipping out, and I was just like, because
See,
I thought if he delivered, that would be part of the story. But
Yeah.
sorry, I was going to say unfortunately, but I guess I shouldn't say that. It's Grogu.
It's Grogu
Who's in the seat being flown by R2-D2. Now I have a couple of comments on this. Why would Luke send Grogu the child alone for this? Why would now I know why.
He's not alone.
Why would he?
R2 with him.
But R2, but
R2's
you bring
with
this
us.
child,
That's a prequel
right?
line.
Bring him back. Say, here's your
R2.
child. He chose you. But I think the fact is, if Luke came and it's like, here you go, and someone would say, oh, they're out fighting, whatever, he might be compelled to go and do something. And then, like you were saying, Jen, it would be like those droids all over again. He would just lay waste to half of everyone. And
plus,
there wouldn't be a story there. It's like, those memes where it's like, beginning of the movie, they do something, credits, because it's just that simple. That's what it would be.
And the most important factor in this whole entire thing, why it's not Luke, because it would be freaking expensive to do all the face work on it too. That's the overall. You gotta remember, money has to flow, and the money's you used up all your Luke budget, right? In this
Rancor
series.
money now.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's Rancor money.
Rancor money.
Maybe spoilers, but yes,
sorry,
Rancor.
Sorry, we're not there yet.
No, so it wasn't Luke. It was So, and then I just remember writing, what did my notes say? And then the next page, because I ran out of room because my writing was so big and crazy. And it was like, oh, it's Grogu.
I'm so disappointed. Like, what's he going to do?
And I'm sure there's all these Grogu, and I love Grogu, but I was hoping Luke would bring him and stuff, and it'd be that whole scene. But it would derail the show because
it would.
He would just like there'd be no point for Mando or Boba Fett or anyone to be there. Either he would kill everyone or he would negotiate it all away. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
sure.
So it'd be kind of pointless. So Grogu shows up, and it's pretty funny. The mechanic's talking to him, and she's like, I forget, she calls him kid or something. He must say something to her like, oh, my name is Grogu. And it's so funny. She goes, Grogu, that's a terrible name.
Oh, that's right, a terrible name.
Which is funny because all the flack that they got for his name being Grogu from Mandalorian. Yeah. So it's cool that they're doing that. Or like when the one episode, what was it, 5 or something, where Mandalorian comes back and she's there and she's like, "Oh, where's the little guy?" And he's like, "Oh, I gave him back to his people." She's like, "That's stupid. Why would you do that?" Because that's what the executives probably said to Favreau. Like, what? The guy that's making all the money for the show, he's out now? Why are we doing a season 3? So they're like, "Oh, we got to bring him back in." So, but anyways. So I don't know what your thoughts were. Did you guys think that Luke was coming? Like when you saw the X-wing coming in, or
when I first saw the X-wing, I went, "Oh, great! Steve's going to poop his pants." He's from excitement. I thought originally,
and I did. So
I thought so. I was a little more reserved. I went, "Oh, is this Luke? Is this Luke?" Like, and then I went, at the same time, I was going, "It can't," because it's the exact same thing. Again, when it comes to storytelling, you don't want to do the exact same thing you do in the Mandalorian, right? So
Sure.
you see the X-wing, it's a red herring. Right? It's called red herring. It's a smoke screen. It's a false flag. They ever gets excited, like, oh, the thing opens up. You don't see Luke going, oh, it's just Grogu, right?
It's dishonest. It's dishonest.
It was Luke's X-wing.
I know. It's like holding and jingling keys over my head.
Yeah,
It's just dishonest. It's dishonest.
It's like a little laser pen light for cats. You were just like following him, like it's like you were just gone.
Poor Steve.
I did think of you, Steve. I went, oh, Steve's good. Like really, like oh, Steve's me crapping
That's so
fans.
funny. I had the exact same thought.
So mean. So after that awesome and not disappointing scene, we go back to Garza's, and Fennec's kind of going through the plan. So they're going to have it's really funny how they do this. So they have the cyber kids down in the workers' place, like they're kind of looking out, right? And then BK is in another area of the city, and the Gamorreans that are a different part.
The 3 different areas, right?
The three different areas.
Divisions, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was weird. Like, were they lookouts or were they defending it? Because like one person against the pikes in this section, one person, you know what I mean? I thought they were spread out thin. But
Well, I think they were spread out like as lookouts, right? That was the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah, the whole thing is if the pikes were coming in one section, they would all mobilize there, right? That's what I think.
They knew where to go, yeah.
Because they're under the understanding that all these different fractions were going to stay neutral. The pikes approach them, right? So
right.
they just they're just looking for pikes. They weren't looking for anybody else double crossing them. So they're just looking for pike activity, which of course they didn't see any. Which we skipped the part where I want to go back. Like we talked about how that person said they didn't think Boba Fett cared. The bikers really show that they cared because they said, let's go back to the palace. They said, no, we got to stay here because this is where our people are, right? Sort of thing. So
right.
That's why, that's the point I was trying to say earlier, that you can't say they didn't care because Boba Fett decided to stay there because, yes, this is better for the community. And so he can't say he didn't care, or he would just go hide in his palace. Anyway,
right.
Yes.
Or that's where he thought. And I wish Boba Fett would have made that decision instead of people convincing him. But,
he's learning. He's learning from those people. He's listening.
Yeah,
as a leader, he's listening to his people, right? So, which you want from a good leader, because a good leader has his own ideas, doesn't listen to people. Are you a really good leader, or are you just a dictator?
Right, because he's nice now.
He's nice now.
So, so during this whole lead up, things go awry.
Do they?
all the other gangs or whatever, they turn on Boba and start attacking.
Nobody saw that coming.
Whoa! You mean these criminal people aren't loyal? Shut up!
These criminal people were just as dishonest as sending an X-wing into the scene without Luke Skywalker. That's how terrible they were.
But I like how it worked out with the bikers first going, there's something wrong here. Something's not right. Like, they could feel it, they could see it, and then boom.
Yeah, they were in that one section, right? So they get attacked and they're fighting back and people are getting shot. And then it's kind of a cool scene where as this is happening, they're going through all the different things, like everything's falling apart, right? So you have the Gamorreans, right? The other groups are attacking them, and those poor guys.
Like, how good was this scene?
That was so good.
I thought that was so good. I was like, I felt bad for the poor guys.
Yeah.
I know. And then I made a note. I said, you're knocked off the clip, and I said, well, there's more Gamorreans where that came from.
But there's only 2 of them.
There's only 2 that stayed, yeah.
So, if they're a little beefier like they were back in Jabba's days, maybe they can hold their ground better, right?
It would have been harder to push off the cliff.
Yeah.
That's what you get for keto diet, okay? Stick with meat. Stick with meat.
There you go.
But and then who was it? The BK scene I thought was really cool, where they all
Yes.
start rushing him, and he's like, smashing people with his knuckle
Well,
dusters
first
and shooting.
he's shooting them, right? He's blasting him first before he went to the knuckle busters, right? He was
Yeah,
he was blasting until he couldn't blast anymore.
Yeah, they basically just rush him. They just rush him and tackle him down.
It
which
blitzed
I
him,
thought,
yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And
Yeah.
he took a lot of hits and stuff, but if you look at it, he's taking hits to the armor, but he's also, they never really got into it, but he's also like upgraded, right? Like his skeleton is steel. He had all this work done when he was in the gladiator fighting circuit or whatever it is. He had modifications done to him. So I don't know if we'll ever see him again, and they'll talk about when he was in the gladiator stuff, and so they've modified him. So maybe that's why. Yeah.
I had a terrible thought though at the end of the episode about when he said, he owed him a trip in the back of the tank or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. So I have a long-haired German Shepherd, and it has so much hair, like that gets everywhere. And like, I was just like I know. I was just thinking about that. Like, oh God, that'd be so gross.
It's like, wait a minute.
Like that
Let's
hair,
not put
like,
him in there.
Yeah. Like trying to clean all that out of there. Like, I know that this is like fiction. Like in my heart, I know that, but like,
he's got a lot of hair.
Part of me that's so gross.
Oh,
yeah, the
no.
guy's trying to clean up all the filters.
I know. Can you imagine like how like blah.
Boba's not cleaning that up, right? So
I know. Anyway.
There's nothing worse than hair in a drain, right? Clean out hair in a drain.
Like,
I don't know why that's so gross, but yeah, it's just nasty.
Well, sorry, continue. He took a lot of hits, but
yeah, you took a lot of hits. You got jumped on. You're going, oh no, poor BK, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I was upset. I was like, no, because I mean they killed the Gamorreans off. Like there's no coming back from that, even in Star Wars.
Yeah, that's a no coming back.
So that's what I like what they did there, right? So again, I mentioned red herrings before, right? The X-wing, red herrings, right? Like
Right.
it shows the Gamorrean guards going down. Now you're showing BK getting overpowered. You're going, oh wow, like these guys are not doing well,
Right?
We talked about before about consequences, right? We talked about that with the Bad Batch, right? Here's some consequences happening, right? Where clearly those Gamorrean guards are not going to be in season 2 if there's a season 2.
Right. Yeah. Well, like I said, they just put out help wanted for Gamorrean guards. I'm sure there's a planet of them somewhere. So after that, I wrote down, they go back to Boba Fett's headquarters. Like this is where he's been sitting this whole time, where all the action's happening. Back at Garsa's, and the Pikes start gathering out front. And I thought it was really cool, the scene. So they're watching all the Pikes go to different parts, and outside of Garsa's, in the windows, on top of the buildings, all pointing guns at this. So you have Mando and Boba Fett inside, and they're kind of looking out, and they're like, okay, so let's do it. And the first thing I thought of was Butch Cassidy and the Sundance
Kid. Yeah.
The first thing I thought of, because then, of course, it was different for them because they it was the Bolivian army or something out front, and they just decide to go for it. And the last scene in the movie is they run out the door shooting. And it's like a freeze frame. But both of them were killed in real life, right? The Bolivian army killed Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. So that's what I thought they were going to do. They were going to go out blasting, but live, of course. And
but the whole conversation was really good. They had option A or option B, right? So,
right.
And the discussion was really, really great. How it's setting up what's going to happen. They decided to go out in a blaze of glory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were talking about creed and honor and stuff like that, right? Like Boba Fett's like, you can go.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I promised. And I just love.
That was cool.
The whole, and that was like the thing where Fennec came and asked Mandalorian for help to help them in that, and he goes, this is here's money in it, and he's like, okay, what's the bounty? And she's like, no, it's to help Boba Fett. And he goes, oh well, here, throws her back the money. And he goes, it's on, like, I'll do it for nothing.
and there's even a learning opportunity because Boba Fett, it says to him like, you believe in that, right? He said like, you believe in that, and he's
Yes.
like, well, yeah, right. So I think even Boba Fett's like, huh, like I think it was an opportunity to learn from Mando. Like actually, maybe there's some credence to some of this Mandalorian, way of lifestyle, right, sort of thing. But supporting, being there, this is the way, sort of thing.
Which I mean, but historically, Boba Fett, was never like the honorable guy, right? He was the notorious bounty hunter, and all that Mandalorian stuff or whatever was just crap. So,
exactly. There's a nice little exchange between the two of them.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. It would have been cool to see them taking a rush doing the Butch Cassidy thing, but
somebody came with a plan C, didn't they?
Yes. The
whatever, I don't know what his name is, but that was so good. Like, what really if I go there and talk to him? With my skill set of talking to people, I can go out there and I could, I'm sure we get us out of here no problem, right?
Yeah.
It's just right on this tablet, whatever what you want me to say.
So funny. Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
So he's going to go out and he's going to be, negotiating the terms to the Pikes. And it's so funny because I had the picture somewhere, but he's getting ready to read it, and he's like, the look on his face of dread, because Boba Fett's like, basically, I'm going to give nothing, and I'm going to do this to you.
Fertilize the lands with the blood of your bodies or something like that.
Well, it was so funny. He started reading, right? Because he's so pompous, right? Like he's and the thing, he just stops. All when he reads it, he just sort of stops, right?
He's like, does he say something like, "These are not my words"?
Yeah, he said, "Read it." It's like, well, just these are not my words. He's like, I'm going, oh, he's going to die. He's going to die.
And this is the meme I found. I thought was so fitting for this.
Yes,
100%.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Because we all, so like, I knew Boba Fett was doing something, and so he's right now going, this guy is not going to make it back. I thought for sure this guy was gone. I knew Boba Fett was going to surrender, but it was a neat little strategy for them. It made a really funny part too.
Yeah,
it was really funny.
I like that. So as he's stumbling around and like, getting ready to get shot.
But the thing is, he's also selling it. Like he's selling it like a positive, even though the words he's saying is terrible. He's trying to sell it as a positive thing. Like, and we'll, like you said, we'll fertilize with your bodies, fertilize the land with your bodies.
So yeah, it was good. And then finally, what we've been waiting for this whole series. Well, we didn't know Mando was going to be in it, but Mandalorian and Boba Fett show up with their jetpacks and start blasting, flying, and it's. I thought I had another jetpack picture here. Like these scenes were so cool with the jetpacks, them flying around and going beside the building and coordinated. It was amazing. And actually, the whole fight. This is where all the desperado starts for them fighting, right? They land, and it's these scenes where they're kind of bouncing around with each other, like back and forth, shooting. And like this is my favorite picture. This right here. So the camera's kind of spinning around them while they're
spinning too, right? They're spinning around, getting all these different shots, right? Very, being as we were talking before the show started, that I'm a huge Desperado fan, which is Robert Rodriguez's film, and this whole scenario, it's like if you look at Desperado, the final scene, the big shootout, you have your three heroes up against the wall, all the bad guys down the alley are all lining up. They're up high, they're down low, they're all hiding behind things, and it's a big huge shootout. It's a homage to Desperado. If you watch Desperado, Jen, or if you haven't seen Desperado, watch it now after watching this, and you'll see how similar this thing is.
Which is done by the same director. So
done by Robert Rodriguez, yes. Yeah. And just like the whole thing, like like everything's coming out, right? You have the blasters, you have his little, I can't remember what they're called, the Mandalorian's little spike he shoots out. Like they're just pulling out all the stops, right? And it was a great scene.
Right. And I actually, where is that? I do have that. The knee blaster.
Oh yeah, the knee blaster, right.
So, and my notes here, like they're getting pounded here too, like just getting shot. And actually Mando is kind of down a little bit, and Boba Fett steps up and he's going crazy. And I wrote notes. I'm like, finally, like this is a really good scene with Boba Fett fighting and not losing. I mean, they were kind of getting pounded, but as that's happening, and again, the whole scene is very cool, and that's the one thing. Like, I knew right away what was going on. It was Desperado, and how the camera was moving, and they're this, and they're spinning, and they're working with each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like gunplay ballet is what it is, right? So
Right.
stylized.
It's like a Star Wars fight without the lightsabers.
That's a really good analogy there for Steve, for sure. It's very similar to the episode, I can't remember, it was episode 4 in Mandalorian season 2 where Rodriguez directed that one, where the stormtroopers all came, and the same thing, you had all this ballet of shooting and moves, and it's just very, very cinematic, right? And a lot of fun.
I think my favorite, going on a lightsaber battle, I think one of my favorite fights is between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan after Qui-Gon is killed, or he isn't dead yet.
Yeah, the
But
second half of Duel of the Fates.
I love when he's waiting for the screen to come down and Obi-Wan is looking really tense, and actually he's bouncing like he's getting ready, like a fighter. And I like, whoa, wait a minute! And that thing comes down, and he's just like jumping, fighting, going crazy.
Yeah,
I rewind that when I'm watching that episode, like that episode 1, I actually rewind that so many times because I'm just like, wow, that's so intense. You don't normally see that, right? Unless it's
I love how much you love the prequels now. Like, just to point that out, like, it just makes my heart so happy now.
That saying has come up like 3 times the last 3 weeks, because there's been a lot of things going back to episode 1, as Mandalorian's new ship. There's a whole bunch of things that are going. Well, we can't say, Jen.
Run. Did you notice the off ramp was still all smashed up from when Anakin,
we did a whole show about it, Jen. You should watch it. Yeah,
I'll go back and watch it. But anyway, all that stuff, all those, my prequel heart was so happy. But anyway, I love that you guys love them now.
It's so great. I was 50% with them. Now I'm like 110% with them.
See, I'm only up to like 75. I have a much more appreciation of them now. I'm at 75.
Heathen. It's good enough, but still a heathen. Sorry, getting back on this, but I could do another talk on the prequels again, because I do watch them a lot more. Like, I'll throw on whatever, even episode 1 I'm fine with, like, because it's got, like I said, one of the best Jedi fights, lightsaber fights are those two.
Darth Maul and Obi-Wan is fantastic.
I mean, the 3 of them fighting is pretty cool, but just that end part is like, wow, that's so different.
And chapter 7 is about gunplay.
Exactly. So basically, you see, like, they're
going down,
overwhelmed. They're getting overwhelmed, and then of course the hillbillies of Freetown show up. I thought that was funny. They come in on this. It was basically like a pickup truck, and they come down on the back.
It was a Star Wars equivalent of a pickup truck.
Exactly. Yeah, bunch of rednecks jumping out, right, and doing their thing.
Funny. I thought it was so funny. It was fine. I just thought it was so funny. They come in this like kind of lame speeder, and are fighting them. And at the same time, it's like the BK comes around the corner.
And he's just getting torched. He's just getting torched, the poor guy.
I know. He gets shot a bunch.
He gets shot a lot. And I kind of thought it was going to be like that Platoon scene where he falls to his knees and he's like,
going to die.
When, what's his name? From the Green Goblin guy.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe played that.
From
Platoon. From Platoon.
Yeah, Platoon.
And it was like, that's what it was almost like. I was hearing that sad music in my head while Willem Dafoe's trying to run to the helicopter.
that is Barber's Adagio for strings, the Agnus Dei.
Oh, really?
Sad music. Anyway.
Oh, see, we learn more, Todd. We learn.
You heard me say the IQ's going up even more. You heard me say that. I don't lie. Brain
hurt.
Thinking hard.
And then Boba Fett was like, cover me, and went out and got him and stuff, and that was very sweet.
Yeah, that was very cool. I always find it funny that people like the cyber kids picking him up, or anyone picking him up, because he's like a monster. He must be so heavy.
Yeah. I can't imagine that would be easy.
And the actor is actually what 6'7". I looked it up on IMDb.
Is he?
Carrie Jones, and he's like 6'7". So
Solid last
anyways.
name. Solid
Yeah.
last name.
Well, it's one of those typicals like Lee or Smith, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And then I think they're beating off the Pikes, and they're all kind of proud of themselves until these guys show up. These
Yes!
monster
Those guys were scary.
battle
Oh my God.
droids. I
Like
know.
destroyers, but like on steroids.
On steroids, and the shields.
Yeah, I just want to say, if we can go back before, like, there's one scene when the old thing comes up. There's one shot where I'm sure you don't have it, Steve. Do you have the shot where the Pike's falling off the ceiling? He gets shot and he falls. And as he's falling, he's shooting as he's falling down.
I
Oh,
didn't.
yeah.
I didn't catch it.
Okay.
I got the one shot where they first hit him, but not
Okay,
on the way down.
if you watch, can you that if you see he shoots, I don't know if it's that one, but it's a different one. Guy's falling down and he's shooting. If you watch that and you watch Death Sprout, the exact same shot, the guy falls the exact same way. It's exact, like, you just put a Pike suit on him. It's exact same shot, which is just, again, as a filmmaker myself and a Robert Rodriguez fan, like, that's why I'm just going, oh, it was just so cool watching him do his own type of parody his own kind of film, right? To pay an homage to his own film was kind of cool. But in the Star Wars universe, it was pretty cool for me. But anyway, big robots come.
Big
I
robots.
love, because Mando has a little scanner, right? He looks and goes, I can't remember exactly what he said, but like, we're in trouble or something like that, or
Something like
like,
that,
like it's like,
Yeah.
oh, and then there's not just one, there's two of them, right?
Yeah, which is terrible. So basically, they're all just running away, getting blasted at, and I
Yeah.
think pretty much like Mando and Boba Fett are trying everything they can. Actually, BK tries to get through that shield at one point,
with
but
his hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't quite
Because they
work.
make Mando makes a point of saying something like our kinetic energy like is can't get through or something like that, and our weapons are like he makes a point of basically saying like nothing we have, like blasters can't penetrate, and
The saber wouldn't get through it either, right?
the saber wouldn't get through it either because so that's what gives Boba Fett the idea to go get something else.
yes. Whoops.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. I actually had the
It's so cool.
Actually, I like how he came over, and this right there looks like what's that movie? The monster that shows up in New York City, not King Kong, but it was that movie where it was done on camera, like the guy was carrying a camera.
Super 8.
Cloverfield?
Yes.
Oh, Cloverfield. Okay, there you go.
Cloverfield coming over. That face looks like the Cloverfield monster
Well, the Cloverfield monster's only shown for like maybe 4 seconds. You never really get a good look at it, but
at the end. But
it definitely looks like a Rancor, though. That's like
For
just
sure.
yeah.
you think of Return of the Jedi when you see that Rancor first come out behind the gate, right? And then you see this thing come over the building, like that really resonated with me. Like just what, and then of course they don't even reveal Boba Fett on the back of it yet, right? You're waiting for it. Then you see him riding it, right? It's like, oh,
that was so crazy.
And just how good it looked too.
It did.
Yeah, so I mean, I went crazy with the pictures. So then the Rancor is fighting these two things, and
which did anyone else get like upset when the Rancor started getting hurt? Like when it got shot? Like I was like, no! Like
I thought it was going to die. I thought it was going to die.
I did too. Like I had a couple moments where I was like, Boba Fett, you better get it out of there. Like it's getting hurt. Like don't you?
Yeah.
Like I had like like I'm one of those people like if an animal in the movie gets hurt, like I'm gonna be more upset about it than if a person gets hurt in the movie. Like
this is where see, this is where where I get a little bit bogged down, because the blasters, these big heavy fire cannons from these robots, didn't really hurt the Rancor, but didn't really hurt him. He's able to recover from but a draw gate falling on its head killed it in Return of the Jedi.
Well, because that like actually pierced the flesh on his neck. I mean, let's just assume
these
that
are blasters. Blasters.
Maybe if he had taken a blaster hit to the back of his neck.
I
think that
I like it. I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, it was. I was worried too, because they showed him definitely taking a couple like direct blaster hits. I was like,
and
oh no,
those claws were bad too. The
that
claws
was
were actually cutting.
I started to like my like animal loving self started to like hold on.
Jen's got an emotional attachment.
I developed an emotional attachment.
See, Jen, like how the Rancor had a bonding to Boba Fett being the first person that saw. Jen had the same thing with the Rancor.
I was over here.
She
like,
got bonded to the Rancor, just like the
worried
Rancor.
about the Rancor's well-being.
There you go.
That's what I do.
I actually thought I was wondering because he was taking so many hits, and when the claws started cutting, like visibly cutting, and the Rancor was actually going like backing up and getting hurt, I thought, wow, are they really gonna take out the Rancor?
I know, because they made a point of saying he was like a baby and like all that kind of stuff. And
he was big for a baby.
And that's the one big baby. Boy. And that's why, because I thought, why didn't he bring him into combat? But that wasn't a thought because he was young, right?
He was young. Yeah, that was the whole thing.
So, but then, man, did he ever do a number? Like, I loved all the scenes where he's attacking the pikes. He ate one.
Yeah, that was so good. And how he eats it is exactly like the Gamorrean guard too, right? Goes in. I wish the hand stuck out and he swallowed the hand just like that. But it was so good. Oh, thanks for this. That was a great picture, Steve.
I had to get that for sure. So.
Well, and he threw one of them, and that was the whatever yell that shows up in everything.
The Wilhelm.
There's like 15 of the Wilhelms. Yeah.
But
I think I wrote that down. I'm like, oh my god, we got a Wilhelm.
Yeah, I did too.
I think sound designers love to use these screams and just put them in. Like there are different ones. I have access to all those screams too. I have on my editing computer here. But yeah, you always want to have an opportunity to work them in somehow, some way.
Now, fantastic. Did Lucas put it in every film?
It was in every
pretty much. It might be the same one too. When the stormtrooper gets shot in episode 4, and he goes and falls off right after he gets shot. Right, so
it became like a thing, like the Find the Wilhelm or whatever.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Thing in Star Wars.
IMDb is full of. You watch action movies, it has used Wilhelm number 5 or used number 7 or it's all over the place in IMDb. It's pretty cool.
Yes.
So Rancor's running amok there and just destroying everything and.
But at that point too, while they're fighting and stuff, the mechanic shows up. I thought I had a little picture of this.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. That was a good little comic thing.
What's it called? What are those things called? Skiffs? Not a skiff. It's
it's like a rickshaw sort of.
Rickshaw. That's what it's called. Yeah, it's a rickshaw. Little robot there.
Mm-hmm.
And she comes. She shows up, and the droids are like towing her along, and it was kind of funny.
Hey, Mando, I brought you something. I brought you something. Oh, we're running away now. Okay.
Right.
There's a big monster. The big robot's coming.
So this is the scene where Mando and Grogu are reunited. I thought it was a little underwhelming, a little bit.
They're in the middle of a
fight. You're being chased by a huge spider machine with blasters. I like the fact that we talked about how they split up, right? The two, the Rancor took off one, the other one followed Mando, right? So they split up the two, so divide and conquer sort of thing, right? But yes, I know what you're saying, but come on, it's in the middle of a battle. You can't have anything emotional. Well, hold on a second, little cries and little tears. You can't have no time for that, Steve. You're being hunted down.
I know. I just
the old softy.
It was either at the end, but then of course. I think it's because Grogu's going to be used
possibly
in these scenes, the next scenes coming up. So what was I saying? What's next here? Rancor shows up, big fight.
I really like. I haven't been a big fan of the mechanic character in most of the episodes, but I did like her in this episode. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I really thought she was really good in this episode.
Right. So they continue fighting. And I thought with this scene here, was this when Grogu? Sorry, I'm just trying to think of my notes here. Isn't it where Mando's getting kind of pounded on here?
Yes, Mando's
the
pounded.
droid.
Yeah.
Right? And then Grogu comes out. I have the little picture here. I thought I had it in order. Grogu comes out.
Mando's on the ground. He got pinned. He got knocked to the ground. He was semi-unconscious, couldn't move, sort of thing.
Right.
So then out of him kind of thing.
Grogu kind of waddles out and starts using the Force, and stops the droid. And it was this one look. I just remember Mando looking at him. It was a couple times when Grogu's doing things, and he's looking at him, and I'm thinking, okay, is it proud dad, or is he thinking in his head, yeah, this is what he should be doing. He shouldn't be with me. He should be learning about the Force, because look at him. This is what he's made for. And it didn't turn out to be that way. I just thought it was weird, right? Like,
or it's the fact that now he's here, he's in danger, and I'm going to get killed, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like how I'm not going to be here to protect him, because he looked like he was going to die. He's not moving. He was standing. He's the thing was going to come down and pierce him, right? Or was going to blast him. But yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that, once he was saved, and there was those couple of times where Grogu would do something, and no one was in danger, and just Mando was looking at him.
I see what you're saying.
And I just thought it was more like he was going, huh? And I thought for sure, I made notes. I thought he a couple of times where he was gonna think in his head, like, maybe he shouldn't be with me. Maybe he should be with Luke learning the Force, because look at him. Like, this is.
I think that time has passed now. I think that probably was his thought process during the Mandalorian season and things like that. But I think now that
he's back,
Grogu has made the choice to be with him and like return to a foundling life.
Right. No, I thought that Mando was going to say to Grogu, look, maybe you should be with Luke.
But I think that's kind of what he said when he left him with Luke.
Right.
He said, you have to be with your own kind. You should do that kind of thing. Yeah. Like he's already given him that speech, and it didn't stick. So I think now Grogu has chosen to come back. So now that guilt should be gone and, alleviated now that.
And going back to Grogu using the Force on the mechanical robot, I like the fact that he didn't pick up the robot and throw the robot. He just grabbed a small little joint, right? Because he's not that powerful. Grabbed the joint, his leg fell down. It fell down, so it lost its balance. So it gave Mando a chance to recuperate and get going, right? And it's neat because he likes a little ball from the steering column from the spaceship, right? So like a little ball sort of thing, little knuckle joint. Same kind of similar type thing. He always kind of gets his attention all the time, right? So that's kind of neat. The fact that it wasn't a big, huge gesture like moving.
I was a little worried about that it was going to be him, smashing the robot or lifting the robot or something like that. And it's like that would have been
too much,
too far.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what I thought. So again, I thought it was a nice progression. Mm-hmm. The fact that he's using the Force and it's a small little thing, but again, it's still a big important thing for Mando to get out of the danger,
right,
harm's way.
So then, while this is all going on Boba Fett's side, we just jump right to it. So Cad Bane shows up. Mm-hmm. And I had hoped...
He was so mean to the Rancor.
I don't think I got a picture of it, but basically he just uses flames on the Rancor.
I know!
Makes it freak out. Like every monster in a monster movie, right? Fire, fire.
That was bothering me a bit too, the fact that it ran away. But the reason why then I started thinking about the reason why it ran away, because Boba Fett was no longer riding it. So therefore it didn't have a master. So therefore it's now more like a wild. It was, I think it would have, after getting blasted, it probably would have walked away or retreated. But with Boba riding it, it didn't. So that's why I think a little bit of flames scared it away. So the flames weren't as bad. Like the flames weren't going to hurt him as much as the blasters were, really. Come on.
Yeah. No.
So he got disoriented. He lost his rider. He didn't know what to do, and so he just kind of
ran off.
Behaved like a horse or a whatever it would do in that kind of situation.
Exactly.
That's very, very true.
Anyway.
Yeah. So then again, we get another face-off.
This big wide shot, like you like, Steve, too.
I love these wide shots because.
But it sets it up so good.
It looks great.
So they get talking and. Yeah, I was wondering, I'm like, is Cad Bane really that good? And he is really that good because he gets a shot off and knocks.
Most people don't survive him. Like in Clone Wars and things like that, there are very few people that have interactions with him that he actually draws on that survive. You know what I mean? Like he's not somebody that they messed around with. You know what I mean? Like he always had contingency plans in place. He always had I don't know. He was not somebody that you wanted to see a character that you liked show down
with, exactly. And what what I like about this again is the fact that it shows that even though Boba Fett's the hero of the series, right? It's his series after all. Doesn't mean he's the best of the best, right? Because he's clearly not. He's clearly outmatched when it comes to. Even on Boba Fett, I don't think he thought he was faster than him. Just thought that he like when he had that talk with Fennec Shand earlier, like I can beat him. Well, he's pretty fast. Well, I have armor. Like he knew that he was going to have to rely on his armor to win this battle. There's no, that he was.
Yeah.
He made that early on, right? So again, a nice setup. The fact that Cad Bane was quite faster than he was.
Well, I mean, God, he takes a beating from Cad Bane. I mean, gets shot. I mean, he's standing on his hand. He's standing over him. Actually, he rips his helmet off.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Look at those teeth. This is just the whole mouth area. Just look how good that looks. Notice mouth reminds me of, Steve. It's from Lord of the Rings, the Return of the King. Remember that little?
The mouth of Sauron.
It just that's what the mouth looks like, except for without the blood pouring out of it. But same kind of eerie type. Oh man, you need to floss, dude, because that's just nasty.
Yeah. So yeah, he ends up at this point, and Boba Fett gets free because of his gaffy stick, and beats him. And geez, do I have the picture here? It's
turns the tide. It was so close that Cad Bane had him, right? And then of course he Boba Fett pulls up a little move, pulls a gaffy move out, boom, stabs him right in the heart. Well, not the heart.
Well, is that where his heart is?
We don't know where his heart is.
Alien anatomy. So,
but you notice the metal plate on his head too, right? He's got the metal plate on his head, like they did in the Bad Batch.
Yeah, I just thought this scene here, like, it was really good. It was kind of goes into slow motion after he kills Bane.
Yeah.
And he's breathing and he's like closing his eyes. It was kind of that kind of like there was this redemption for him.
That's the part before the show started. This part right here, after he stabs him, it does a 3 dissolves. It goes very slow and does a dissolve. Right. That's what Robert Rodriguez does in all his movies. It's the 3 dissolve, where the character will do, like, there's one thing in Desperado when he's fighting with one guy and he blows off his head and blood flies up. Then somehow he grabs him, he gets up, and it does a fade, and then fade. And he does it all the time in all his movies.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He does it all. It's because I've tried doing it in my movies when I make it, because I try emulating Robert Rodriguez's style. But yeah, he did that. That's why I go, like, you're seeing the X-Wing. That's why I'm going, oh, he did his 3 dissolves, and I got all fanboyish, because I love when he does that, because it goes super slow mo, dissolve. He's moving. It just really sets a tone and a feel, because you're actually bringing it up, and you don't recognize the technique that I don't see anybody else doing. It's what he does all the time. I really love how it just sets a mood and sets a tone for what just has happened, sort of thing.
That's awesome. So, Jen, Cad Bane, dead?
He's not dead. He's not dead. So here's my whole thing. So here's the thing. So, like, if you want somebody dead, like, you cut off their head, you you do something
you smash
more than like stabbing them a little bit in the chest and leaving them in the street. Like, that's not how you like make a character dead. That's how you like kill a character and leave it open-ended.
Yes.
So, like,
and
just
here's that
alone,
picture. And here's that picture you can discuss. Yeah. Because what were they talking about? The little thing I circled on his chest is blinking or something, and they were like, "Oh,
it was making a noise too."
Yeah.
And they don't show, like, I mean, like, yeah, somebody came and got him for sure. Like, he is not dead. I don't like.
It could be a homing beacon too, possibly, right?
Dead. Like,
exactly. He's mostly dead. Absolutely. It's just a flesh wound. It could be a homing beacon for his people, his robot, his droid, or whatever to come pick him up too, right?
Something's gonna come get him and something like that. Like, there is no way that you kill off Cad Bane. I think Filoni is smarter than that.
Well, exactly. He's not going to kill off a character that he really likes. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to when you just bring him into the universe and now you're going to wipe him out. No way.
No. I mean, if that was the intention, like, there are other ways to like have a more definitive death.
Absolutely.
Like, he could have taken the gaff stick thing to the eyeball. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are way more other
ripped off knocked the metal plate. They could have done so much more. Kept shooting until he caught on fire, right?
Yeah,
they could have
Like, we can establish death. Like
put a thermal
yeah.
detonator in his pants, and boom, right? You're
Yeah.
saying anything. He's not dead. There's no way he's dead. You can't kill Cad Bane with a
This
little.
isn't even like soap opera dead.
Oh,
This is
it's not
like
even close. Not even close.
That's so, and I have to protest against putting a thermal detonator in someone's pants. That's just dirty.
But would
That's
would that person be dead afterwards? Yes. I'm just saying, if you want to send a message, you said, well, you don't think so? You don't think so? Okay, well, I guess I'm wrong.
You know, it depends on how many hit points he has. But so while this is all going on, the Rancor is running amok through the town and going crazy, and they do this giant homage to the King Kong movies.
Yes.
Even the point where he's
that was really cute.
climbing this tower, and there's a King Kong, and I had the picture here, and I can't find it, from the old movie, him hanging off the Empire State Building.
That's the exact same shot as this.
It's the same, yeah.
The exact same shot.
Well, and the Mandalorian tells, stop shooting, you're scaring him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I was also yelling at the TV at the same time, like, stop shooting, you're scaring him.
Yes, we know. You got the bond with the Rancor. We know. Yes.
Rancor.
You're just like.
Yeah, he even got a hold of Mando, and he was like gnawing on his helmet. Like
that was crazy.
That was
so good.
I was like, his helmet's gonna like pop right off like that. Like,
is that Beskar does everything.
Apparently so.
Does everything, and while that's all going on, again, it was this other scene where then Grogu comes out and does that, calms him down. And actually, I don't know if he puts him to sleep or just calms him down. And I actually saw that in my first reference of that was in Star Wars Rebels, where Ezra's learning how to kind of, it's almost like communing with the animals so that he could calm down these wild beasts and stuff like that without having to kill them and stuff like that. And that's what Grogu does, right? So God, I thought I had the picture where Grogu.
Oh, I hope you have the picture of Grogu, like, because that was my favorite shot of the whole thing. It was so cute. Oh my god.
So the Rancor.
But no, Anakin does it too in the prequels. Remember when him and Padme are in the fields, and he calms down those like cow buffalo bull.
Yeah, those little things. Yeah.
And
Ray did it too in Rise of Skywalker, the snake, those stupid snake, and
But Grogu's done it in the past too. With the mud.
Yes.
Horn thing, whatever.
Oh, he actually he lifted it up, didn't he?
He
lifted it up.
You're right. He lifted it up. I thought he like calmed it down first.
No, he threw it away. Yeah.
You're right. So that was the cutest scene. Like, not only did he like tell baby Rancor to go to sleep, like he was like, and it's nap time.
Well, because he gets tired of expending that much energy, right? That's one thing about him. Every time he does expend a lot of energy, he gets a little tired afterwards,
it
right?
was the most adorable thing, though.
You don't have it, do you, Steve? You can't find it.
I had the picture, and it didn't. No, it didn't load.
Oh no!
Sorry, it was a really good shot too, but in the end, Rancor down.
Oh, he's there. You can see him. You can see him.
Yeah, he's there. He's there. You'd have to zoom in, but he's there, all snuggled up next to him.
Yeah,
which is so cute.
So that was well, I guess while that's happening, what is it? Fennec had left. This is what we forgot to say. She had left to go find the leaders of the Pikes and everyone else in Mos Eisley.
But we didn't know that as an audience at that point in time.
Right.
We just thought she went to go rescue the biker gang. Not that we didn't know where she was gone after that, right? Because she kind of just disappeared afterwards.
So all the people involved, all the leaders of the families, the mayor and the Pike leader, are all in that little hut being guarded by 2 guards. And
that was crazy.
Fennec shows up and just kills them all through basically the window.
Like 15 seconds, just like.
Yeah.
Well, I love that she blasts everybody, and then the mayor's trying to go, and then of course, the piano wire come around the neck and lift them up.
Yeah.
It's dangling, and they stop. Right? It's like, like PG-13 right now. It escalated pretty fast, right?
Yeah.
I saw someone was talking about this in a review. It said, So what a waste of time. She could have just went and did that and solved everyone the trouble of getting killed and everything else. I thought they were just giving her kind of, because she was a master assassin, and that I think was her strength of doing this instead of frontline combat and stuff.
Yeah.
And it just seemed more up her alley of just assassinating the leaders.
She probably couldn't have gotten to them without the forces all being depleted and with them only having 2 guards and that kind of thing. Like it's because they were all mobilizing, whatever, like getting ready to leave off world and all the stuff that they were getting ready to do. So that's probably why she had the opening that she did.
And here's the situation that probably happened the same time that they were all doing their big final battle.
Yeah,
I know it showed in chronological order and it happens at the end, but I'm pretty sure that happened all at the exact same time because she's going to wait for it to happen. No, she probably did that right away. After she went to them, she rescued the bikers. She went there to do that. So I'm pretty sure it happened during the fight.
Yeah, maybe it was happening at the same time. I just know, weren't they talking about the fact that
they were talking about the fact that they lost how many people? And
yeah.
Did they mention that they lost the 2 big droids or no?
I don't know, actually.
I think they knew about that.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So I guess I'm wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. So it might have just been just afterwards or something though. So
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she captured somebody and found out where the bosses were, and that's how she was able to get there or something. I don't know. We don't need to see all of it.
We don't. Yeah. Again, they could have filmed it, just cut it out. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then everything's happy ending, and then we see Mando and Fennec walking through the town, and as he's walking through, people are bowing to him, and he's bowing back because now, right, he's leading with respect, so he got the city's respect and blah blah blah. And I had the picture where they're all at the end, and someone gave Boba Fett was that Malorn
the fruit thing?
Fruit, and he gives it to BK. And I wish I had the picture where they're all standing there in a group. It's like it felt like the end of an '80s movie where they all go, "Well done, guys." It felt like that as a camera.
I think they're just trying to get the same feeling as at the end of A New Hope. They're trying to do the same feeling as Return of the Jedi. In Return of the Jedi, same thing. They're all huddled around a little bonfire, standing there for posing for a selfie. Right? It's the same thing.
Right.
I think that's they just the exact same MO.
That's right. So yeah. So end of the battle. I guess Boba Fett's kind of the leader of the city.
The big cheese.
The big cheese, and then we see Mando
so cool.
and Grogu in the ship. Again, too, so many people, this has become their new old favorite ship.
Yeah.
Which is really funny.
All you secret prequel lovers. I knew it. Wasn't it you, Todd, that made fun of all the Naboo starfighters? Wasn't that you?
Yeah, and if you were here 2 episodes ago, you would have heard me do the same thing again. How I don't like the Naboo fight, but this looks better because it doesn't look clean and sleek. It's a little more dirty. It's a little more falling apart. I'm a little more. Liking this. It's fantastic. It's no Millennium Falcon or X-wing or Y-wing. I can go all through the things, and I'm finding ships better than that.
I got you.
I like the ship. I just didn't like the outfits that the pilot's wearing, like the long coats seem kind of out of place for a pilot. It would kind of, you need the tight fitting outfits, so that you don't have the excess. Anyways, geez, I was talking about hair with Jen before we went live. Now I'm talking about fashion. I gotta stop.
So the one thing, could anybody figure? I was trying to figure out what Grogu was tapping on the window for. Like I know he wanted something. I thought he wanted to be in the cockpit with him.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. I had no idea what he wanted.
He wanted to go fast.
No, I know that, but until we knew that, did you know that's what he wanted? What did you think he wanted? I thought he wanted to get in the cockpit with him. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
What were you guys thinking?
Yeah, I don't really know. I didn't have a thought of what he wanted. I didn't.
But he just wanted to blast off.
Yeah.
Blast off. Kind of a funny scene there. And I learned from the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian, like after Luke, and I was still freaking out that I watched all the credits go by, and I was doing cartwheels, and then it was that after credit scene where Boba Fett comes in and kills Bib. So if you stayed for after the credits, where is he here? Jeez, I had it in order, guys.
What should be a picture of Grogu sleeping with the Rancor?
Preview of who was using his Bacta tank, which is Cobb Vanth, which is one of my favorite Star Wars characters now. Like the actor is so perfect. So, and then the guy up above is the modder guy.
He's gonna modify him a bit.
That Thundercat, mod him, fix him somehow. And it's like maybe he's gonna give him like a metal chest plate because he doesn't have armor anymore, right? So, anyways, Cobb Vanth, he lives.
Well, it's neat because that's what they said earlier. They said that you should have, because Fennec Shand told Boba you should go have a what's the bath called again? I can't remember what it's called. Bacta is all can being used right now. So again, I thought maybe it was going to be BK in there, but obviously it wasn't, right?
No, because he sheds too much. And screw that guy.
Right? Isn't that gross? Anyway, no. Well, I thought they were kind of trying to make it obvious that he lived because, like, they very clearly show you that he takes the shot like here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like the deputy gets shot like 8 times.
Yeah,
but,
we
like,
knew.
He gets shot like.
we had a feeling that he probably wasn't dead. We knew he was in bad shape, but we didn't think he was dead. Last week.
I watched that one with the subtitles on because I was watching it quietly, and like one of the Freetown people that runs out says something like "get a med pack" or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
yes.
So, yeah,
exactly.
Like,
So here's a situation. Know who I thought it was in the back when he said that, and they go back. Guess who I thought it was going to be?
Who?
I thought it was going to be Cad Bane. I thought it'd be Cad Bane there. Like, so like I really did. I thought it'd be him, but it wasn't. I wasn't disappointed as Cobb. I just thought it was Cad Bane.
Yeah.
That would be a whole little thing. You go, whoa, what's going on here? But yeah.
He's just continuing to collect like old baddies and converting them.
See,
to,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But obviously that was not right. But again, having Cobbs is pretty cool. So
yeah.
That would be if geez, that reminds me of I took the Cad Bane photo and I added the face app to him, and I thought, Cad Bane isn't that bad. He just needs, if he smiled more, he might look nice. Where is it here? Let's see if you guys can see it. I thought all he needs to do is just smile more.
He's a totally different person after he smiles.
He's totally different. All he has to do is, if Boba could save him, and he gets a new lease on life. Yeah.
He's like, hey guys, the galaxy ain't so bad.
At least that's my idea.
So now that the series is over, we can analyze the whole thing. So do we like the series? I know that for some reason I've seen a lot of bad reports or people not liking it or negativity towards it. I really enjoyed it. I know it wasn't.
I think the negativity that I've seen was that it felt disjointed. That's been the thing that I've heard from some people, that it felt like kind of patchworked together.
Yes.
But I don't necessarily know that that's a bad thing, because to me, the kind of intention of this series was that they were bringing a lot of these different, things together. So, I thought there was a lot of really fun elements in it. I thought, it was extremely entertaining. Like that's all I'm looking for. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for brilliant writing here. I'm not looking for any of that kind of stuff. Like, I thought it was really fun. So I enjoyed it. I liked all the little prequel throwback, kind of things. Like, that was really fun. I liked that Ahsoka was in it, even for just like a couple minutes. It's super cool.
For me, I really liked the fact the first 4 episodes I thought were really good, except for the biker chase scene. It did feel a little disjointed when it brought Mando into it. So again, I didn't hate it. It just felt I was really enjoying the story arc of Boba Fett, and just took away from that story arc. But again, I see what they do it for it. I have no problem with it. I did enjoy it. Overall, I really liked it. I really, really enjoyed it.
I liked the Dances with Wolves episode too, or whatever that everyone's calling it.
Yeah.
That was actually, I know that it's like a kind of a played out story or whatever, you know, kind of thing, like Last Samurai, Dances with Wolves, whatever, you know, like however you want to like, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this telling of a person who is rescued by, you know, this tribe and, you know, goes through this life-changing experience. And like, I thought it was a good episode. I enjoyed that story. I enjoyed how it shows how Boba Fett could go from the character that we knew him as to now this character that is trying to be better. Like, I thought that it was interesting. So it was a good way to kind of help explain some of that character development. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I think, you know, one of the complaints I hear from people is, oh, it's on Tatooine again, and can we get off the Tatooine planet and stuff? I don't mind it. I kind of like it. And it's kind of funny because then the next season series they're going into is the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which
is also on Tatooine.
It's like, oh, well, get over it. No, there were so many elements. I liked all the prequel stuff, like the Beggar's Canyon and the ramp that Anakin broke. The N1 thing, fighter, just every little thing that some people would say, oh, it's just fan service. And I'm thinking, when people use that as an argument for a negative review, I think, who are you making this for? But the fans.
Exactly.
You're like, I'm going to make a movie that someone likes so that they'll pay me money and I can make more. It's like, oh, fan service. That's so stupid. Like, you should make something they don't like. So I liked all those little things, every little thing they did. Like, they bring it in the droid from Return of the Jedi in the little, you know, the torture droid that was now a cook in a kitchen. The other droid that fought like Grievous, like all this kind of stuff was just
so many Gonk droids too, Steve. So
many Gonk.
And there was another one, and I forgot to get a picture of it.
Steve, every time a Gonk droid makes an appearance, it's a talking point for 10 minutes.
The Gonk droid. Hey, guess what I got today? There's a Gonk Builders group, and I got some of these.
Oh my gosh, look how cute.
Today. So yeah, so I got them today. But
I
have a lot of the materials to make just like a Gonk. It's basically like, you know, containers or stuff like that. So I gotta get around to it whenever I'm not busy.
I can't wait to see what you make. I hope you do.
I know. I want to make a big one with lights. I want to make it look good, but it's probably gonna look like crap my first time around. But I'm still assembling everything. But I got the so I'm kind of a poser. I'm kind of a liar right now because I haven't built it.
Haven't built one yet. So I love this. The episode, Jen, you missed the episode. There was an episode. Remember when Boba Fett and Fennec Shand rescued his slave one, or sorry, fire spray, and there's a Gonk droid that they shot and blew up. Like Steve, like had like a little, you know, funeral service for him. And
I did. Is it still here? No, I got rid of it.
Moment of silence. And stuff, pretty much.
I had an RIP. Yeah, I had a little in memory of. I took it off.
Yeah, it's okay.
Hey, come on. The poor guy, he was just trying to
doing his job.
He's
just powering the ships and stuff, right?
Fennec murdered him. He probably charged his ship. She murdered him. Yeah. So
thankless.
No respect. But yeah, so you know what I'd like to do is even do a follow-up where we just talk about the series as a whole. But I just wanted to get into the announcement that came out hours after the finale of the Book of Boba Fett was the announcement of the like an actual date, fingers crossed, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney Plus, which is going to be May the 25th. It's kind of exciting. Let me, I just want to share the article.
I will be excited on May the 25th.
not until then, right?
Not a minute before.
Even though the posted there, Jen, you still don't believe, right? You still don't believe.
I don't believe. I have my heart has been burned before.
So here it is. Here's our article. Hello there. The Obi-Wan series will premiere May 25th on Disney Plus. And from the press release, they're saying Obi-Wan Kenobi, the new Disney Plus limited series from Lucasfilm, will debut exclusively on Disney Plus May 25th. It's going to be starring Ewan McGregor, who will reprise this role as Obi-Wan, of course. And of course, Hayden Christensen is going to be returning a role. Like, how crazy is that? So here's the story. The story begins 10 years after the dramatic events of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, where Obi-Wan Kenobi face his greatest defeat, the downfall and corruption of his best friend and Jedi apprentice. You were my brother, Anakin Skywalker, who turned to the dark side. Oh, for all spoilers, turned to the dark side as evil Sith Lord Darth Vader.
He did what?
He did what? So, yeah. So the poster is awesome.
Poster's fantastic.
Yeah. So I know Jen is carefully happy about it all.
I have been excited and crushed so many times regarding this series.
That's
because I want it so bad. But I'm very happy about this news, that it's actually happening, and it's actually, it's
So
all the people that I love, and it's good.
Because you're the prequel lady, right? You're the prequel girl. So
These are like the Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. Those are my people. That's my story. That's my dynamic. Those are my boys.
I've become a prequel girl too, so I'm kind of excited about this. I'm actually shocked that Hayden Christensen agreed to do it. Like, I know Disney money talks, but yeah, he just seemed like there's no way he's coming. I had a feeling that he would be open to this kind of thing when he started going to cons, to the conventions. When he started doing autographs and being around us nerds, it was like, oh, maybe he's on board.
Maybe.
Yep.
And so one thing, Jen, you missed, like one thing I gotta tip my hat off to is Steve. Throughout this Book of Fett series, Steve made tons of predictions, and he came right in so many predictions. Like, he did really good. Except for, I think this last episode is the only one where he really kind of fell flat on his face when those predictions came through.
Because it was more of a fangirl fiction, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Ewoks?
No, there's no Ewoks, but it was like
Ewoks.
Luke,
Usually
and Chewbacca were going to fly in and save Boba Fett on the Millennium Falcon, and that was the big dream, and there was lots.
I think one of the predictions I had was that maybe they'd be overwhelmed, and then the female Tusken would come over the hill with like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Tuskens and help him and get revenge.
That's true too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would have been cute.
And
that would be before Luke, though. That would be before Luke. When Luke came, changed.
Luke was going to show up on the Millennium Falcon with Han and Leia and Chewbacca, and then he was going to come out with Grogu or something like this, and then Han was going to be like just on the gangplank of the Millennium Falcon, saying, "Come on, kid, we got to go," like to Luke. And because there was rumors that Harrison Ford was doing the the image thing,
stuff too,
so I was like, oh, he could do that. Like, they only had a $25 million budget on this episode, so they'd have to give Harrison Ford like 20 of that just to make him do it. So,
well, even the fact that I think you even said they thought you hope that Luke would have his green lightsaber and the dark saber too. Remember?
Oh yeah, there was that prediction.
At some point, that's going to happen. I think that I think Luke might end up having to train him some, because like he's struggling so much to use the dark saber. Like, so I think at some point.
We also talked about maybe Ahsoka being the person who would do that too, or Grogu, or Grogu.
That was the other fanboy thing I had, whereas Luke shows up at the end of the battle, he's got his lightsaber and Mando's kind of out of it, and he's like, here, let me, and he grabs, so he's got his lightsaber and a dark saber, and he's doing the two saber fighting like his father did.
Would have been awesome, Steve.
Dooku, right?
Yeah, against Dooku. Yeah. Would have been awesome.
So like
It was like, as I described last week, it was a fanboy wet dream is what it was.
Yeah.
But it was over the top, but I didn't make any predictions because I had no idea. So
that's like an all-day thing.
Well, and then it turned out being like the best possible thing for you, though, Todd. Like Rodriguez, I can't talk.
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez. Yes.
Yeah.
I had a feeling because I knew he did the first couple episodes, and then he did the I think it was episode 4, and so I kind of figured he would come back for the last one, and I knew pretty quickly on because he's doing the same kind of camera tricks he always does. I'm like, okay, this is him for sure. I knew it. And then of course the credits says directed by Robert Rodriguez. So I was pretty pleased with that. That was my Luke moment for sure. But all in all, it was a great series. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to Obi-Wan coming up because again, that'll be a very interesting storyline that we'll be following, right? Like you never thought you'd ever see Hayden Christensen come back as Darth Vader, and it's just gonna be an interesting little series, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's about time for me to come back around for a podcast again, right? 5 months on the road or something.
Oh, see you in May. That's so. Yeah, we. Jen's only here because it's a work for release thing, so we're like a charity. She's going to do so many hours, and we've given her an hour and a half off her 30 hours of community service or whatever it is. So yeah, so we look forward to it. But on that note, in Jen's criminal career, thanks for everyone who has been watching. Thanks, guys, for showing up on what day is it today? It's Thursday. And nerding out and talking about Star Wars and stuff like that. We will have to do a follow-up episode of some kind where we can just kind of go over the general what we thought. I think there's a lot to talk about there, and I wouldn't mind doing another prequels thing of some sort, because while we were talking about it in my head, I'm like, some prequel stuff, we should get some kind of prequels thing going because of the whole N1. Everyone's going crazy trying to posting stuff about the Naboo fighter and stuff like it was their favorite chip all of a sudden, and always has been. It's crazy. It's crazy what the Mandalorian
saying he was at some like secondhand shop and they had a bunch of prequel ships and stuff for like nickels. And he was talking about he was going to go back and buy them. That was months ago, though.
I wonder if he did in Saskatchewan.
Yep, it's Saskatchewan. That's right.
Well, now they probably went up in value.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I know. You know what I did?
They couldn't sell them a month ago, but now.
I went on eBay the other night, and I'd wondered. I looked up all the Naboo stuff, and it was like, wow, that's crazy. But I bet you 2 weeks ago, they were like
I
nothing.
had the Naboo Starfighter as a pool toy. The yellow, like that was, I had an inflatable one.
Oh, okay. Well, it's the exact same thing.
That's the Florida, in me.
Here would be a toboggan and where we are.
Toboggan, that's right. Okay, well, thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone who tuned in. And just before I go to, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. Share this video. It helps us out. Make sure you follow us on social media. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for, like I said, for joining us. Have a good night.
Take care.